When I came back from United States way back in 1971, the family was in the traditional business of flour mills and trading and all that, and I wanted to get away from that. So wanted to go into some new areas. The country was in a very different regime at that time. Only the big houses were permitted to put up the industries with high-tech areas and all that, and I was looking India for next 20 years or 30 years or beyond, and wanted to get into some high-tech products. So I started doing some kind of market research and all that, and I stumbled upon the idea of what the word was engineering thermoplastics. Nobody was doing that in the country. I finalized ABS as my new project, and of course getting the government approvals was a big story at that time, and started looking for new technologies. Worked in some plant abroad, started doing market as some technological developments here in the country, and after I was reasonably certain that yes, I can now put up a project, started construction in 1976 with a capacity of 2,000 tons when the demand in the country was hardly 200 tons. Everybody thought it was a crazy idea, and well, in the initial years proved that it was a crazy idea, but because by 1981 I had lost all my capital, everything was gone. All friends who came with me in the project, they all left me, and it was a difficult time.
શરૂઆતના દિવસોની અંદર પ્લાન્ટની અંદર પણ ઘણા પ્રોબ્લેમ આવતા હતા. એ પ્રોબ્લેમ સોલ્વ કરવા માટે જોશી સાહેબ અને રાકેશ અગ્રવાલ સાહેબ જાતે પાના લઈને કામ કરતા હતા.
As the story goes, I had a lot of confidence in the project, I had the confidence in myself, and this project was not for immediate future in the country. Engineering thermoplastics was a new thing. There were moments, of course, and there have been times where I felt I was extremely pressurized. There comes a time in everybody's life when you feel shaken, your confidence starts to waver. During those times, I looked to my father for his help, psychological, emotional, and of course monetary. He could muster up all the resources he had at his disposal, do whatever possible he could do to help me in that situation. Only because he knew that I had confidence in myself, and he in turn had confidence in me. And there were some key happenings in those times which changed the course of my life, and the first such thing was in the year 1980, when the chips were down, everything was going against me. Everybody in the world thought that I'm finished, and I met Dr. Vadrajan. He infused so much of confidence in me, gave so much energy to strive on and continue. And he provided me support by IPCL taking over my marketing, providing me necessary financial assistance during that time, which continued for the next 4 years from 81 to 85.
He did have problem in the beginning of marketing the product, because there were various grades, there were various shades in how do you reach out and develop a market. IPCL, a public sector company, had a good track record of marketing, and he approached IPCL. IPCL agreed, and we are proud of it because there was a good product to market.
One is surprised to know that only in the year 1985 I could sell almost 1,500 tons for a capacity of 2,000 tons, which was installed in 1978. And that was the first year I didn't lose any money. From that time onwards, I know that my time has begun. I had confidence in me, in people around me, and in my technology. Next 3 years, we went to continuous growth. The strength of the organization as a team that we were building. Fortunately, I had a whole lot of like-minded people who knew that they were not coming in for some kind of an easy results or easy life, something in the futures to look forward to be proud of when you look in retrospect that yes, you have achieved something. Kind of people so were associated with me as part of my teammates. And the next 3 years, we did a lot of research in-house, went on increasing the capacities with very, very small incremental cost and all that.
10 आदमी हुए, फिर 50 हुए, आज 300 आदमी काम कर रहे हैं। तो हम लोगों ने पहले से कितना मेहनत किया होगा, ये आप लोग उसका अनुमान लगा सकते हैं।
And 96 is the year when we realized that everybody was looking in India and everybody was looking into ABS. A lot of people, GE and Plastic, which was making an aggressive approach in this country, announced their plan to put up ABS plant. Reliance, which is the biggest chemical company in the country, also announced putting up an ABS plant. And that's the time I realized that you have to create a niche for yourself. And if these people come into production facilities, you have to really struggle to survive in the wake of competition and all that. You have to do something differently. And that's the time we started looking for outward technologies and foreign collaborators and partnerships.
SABIC has enjoyed about 2 decades of relationship with Mr. Rakesh Agrawal's company. He was one of our first customers for styrene in India. At that time, ABS Polymers was just starting on its long journey towards becoming a leading player of ABS.
We are happy to be one of their main suppliers of equipment since over 10 years.
Since then, as the world has been very different of mergers and acquisitions for the last, you can say 15 years or 16 years, the company has gone through different management philosophies, different technologies we have been subjected to, and we have learnt a lot during this process. Finally, we are a Star Ocean Group company, wherein the Star Ocean Group, as you know, is a BASF and INEOS dominated group, and they are looking towards India as a big growth center. And I'm sure, like me, everybody who's part of this team is very proud to be associated with this growth story and this group company, which is making all out efforts, making market research, and seeing that our leadership position, which we have enjoyed for the last 25 years, not only continues but strengthens. And we are taking every steps to see that this grows. The world of business is ruthless, and you have to create a niche for yourself. We needed to have a lot of in-house development on the product development, process changes and all that, in order to meet small demands, various customers having very different machines, different processing conditions, different mold designs. So we had to build that kind of in-house capability to continuously change, and that which was a necessity became a strength. Because in the growing market, and the country has very wide application in small lots, which otherwise was not possible to be catered by any big supplier from abroad and all that. We were able to meet those demands in a pretty simple way, pretty quickly, and that infused a huge amount of confidence in the minds and hearts of the customers, and they become quite loyal to us, I would say, for some period. And later on, we were continuously, proactively looking into their future growths, their plans, and making all the necessary changes in our processes, in our products, to suit their requirements. So we have uniquely, probably in the world, and the only company I would say probably in the field of ABS or engineering thermoplastics, who can say that we are making customer friendly or customer specific grades. It adds to complexities, it adds to the cost, but it hugely benefits in the growing market, when the requirements are very diverse, not only in the terms of application or application designs, but in the terms of machines and processing requirements. And the whole organization is built on this. All the team members of this organization are required to meet the customers so very often.
Rakesh has been a very dynamic CEO, and he knew what is to be done at the right time.
It's a company with a pioneering spirit. It's a company which is professional in its approach. It is a company which has proven over a long track record.
Their R&D is always active and they are always consistently working on that.
One of the polymers which we were using for our toothbrush manufacture gave us serious quality problems. And as a person who did not have much, or I would say any knowledge in plastics, the man I leaned on is Rakesh Agrawal. And that is how started sand, usage of sand in India.
The proof of the pudding is that in last several years, our rejection rate is less than 0.1%. And the customer's inventory is not more than 3 or 4 days or 7 days. So the customer has this confidence, which we have been able to sustain, that we'll be able to deliver the product when he wants it, and a quality product which is not going to fail on his shop floor. And to maintain or to sustain this belief or this faith of customer is very important.
They have given us excellent service. We could always count on them for just-in-time deliveries at the right price and the right quality.
We have been very well supported technically, commercially in the whole process. This very clearly helps us to also grow along with the company.
I think a leader has to provide that. What is the best way the organization interests are met, keeping customers' interest intact and supporting the customers. The leader has to coordinate, and even in the differing views, one has to give a kind of a very cohesive view, which is not only appreciated by everybody and thought to be the right decision, and carry it wholeheartedly. Any opportunity or any business, one has to understand that there is no dearth of talent or capital. People there are ready with ideas and everything, so you have to create kind of a niche for yourself. Art is passion. It touches both your heart and mind. My involvement in first in the international contemporary art has been during my student days, where I used to visit museums and all. But afterwards, way back in 93 and 96 period, when I came in contact with the Indian contemporary art and the artist, I got immediately drawn towards that, and since then there was no looking back. I've had during this last 15 years a huge amount of interaction with the whole range of Indian artists, very young to very established. We had expeditions, symposiums, and lately at our international, at our Uttarayan Art Center, we started having a lot of international symposiums where almost more than 200 international artists have come and worked. This has been extremely exhilarating for me, understanding how they think, and an idea which probably emerges from traditions or culture or upbringing is being converted into some kind of a creativity, takes a form, and when you discuss with them that the whole process, and when you are involved in going through that process, like at our art center, they were making sculptures, bronzes, digital art. you get a very different experience. It's all about life, how people think, how people react, how societies are reacting to changes. And for me, this has been very, very, very close and very, very enjoyable experience all these years. In the foundation that I've created, Uttarayan Art Foundation, where we have created a reasonably good facility as a kind of an interactive hub, where all the initially about the Indian artists, now a whole lot of international artists are coming and working together and creating. And of course, I've created only an environment for creativity, and they are in a position to have created some wonderful objects or works of art. I intend to have some kind of a museum there. I'm looking into kind of setting of a Indian tribal or primary art center. I wouldn't call it primitive art center, where I believe that our traditions and all that, which require some kind of focus and some kind of support, I feel I'm obliged to do that, and I feel very excited about doing so. I'm taking a step back, I would say, from making a room for the younger lot to come in and take the reins, and of course my experience or advice is always available to the organization. But meanwhile, I'm also looking into the other areas where I feel more creative work can be taken by me. There are a few possibilities and opportunities currently I'm exploring. It should excite me. That is the first requirement for me. Apart from my both sons, who are equally excited about venturing into the new areas and are also equally excited about developing new technologies and are doing a good job in their own fields. Of course, I'm associated with them only as an advisory capacity. So there are a few things, my hands are full. In my opinion, for a very foreseeable future, we shall continue to be the #1 supplier of this product or developer of this product for all the customers in this country. As on today, many times we will proudly say that we are not only the first point of contact for any new development, we are sometimes the only point of contact for some customers in this country.